What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Lou Reviews, your home for and destination for critical thinking in the realm of the unexplained. I'm your host, Luis Jimenez. Thank you guys for being patient today. We're starting the show 2 hours later than we normally do. I've been working a lot. A lot of stuff's been going on. I had to get a haircut today. Going down to San Diego tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff is happening. Stuff that I don't know about. Because it's my birthday on Monday. Or Sunday. What's today? The 2nd? Today's the 2nd. So Saturday's the 3rd. Sunday is my birthday. So, there's stuff happening. I'm not really sure what, but we'll find out. I'm sure I'll be sharing some of that stuff with you guys this weekend. All right, so what are we going to be talking about today? So today we ask, is Jason Sands, UFO whistleblower, Jason Sands, a UFO Santa Claus for adults? He swoops in with a sled full of, confirmation beliefs, rehashed UFO lore, mythology, and of course the good old-fashioned trust me bros. Grown, tax-paying adults eat this shit up. And actually, as a matter of fact, they pay for it. They raise money to listen to this nonsense. And we'll talk about that a little bit too. We got other stuff to talk about. So let's get into it. Let's get into our good old Lou Reviews studio. Want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Spank Flaps. Only 145 days till Christmas. Pat Calabria, yo. Wes H says hello, everybody. Entropic Horizon, what's happening? First time I think I've seen that name, so welcome. Simon Fly, Mamba's Dope Boy, what's going on? Andres, good to see you. Swit McLeod, always a pleasure. Let's see here. Who else? Sandra McConnell from Australia, good morning. I hope this is a little easier to wake up to, Sandra. 5 o'clock? I think that's, I believe that would be 8 o'clock your time, Sandra, if I'm not mistaken. The old show started really early for you. So anyway, I hope this is a little easier. Hydrogen Fuel Technologies, thank you for being here. Another name here. I'm here for the roast. Excellent. Well, thank you for being here. Hope you brought some spics. Like, is that right? Did I say that right? I don't think so. Those, what do they call it? What do they call it? Like I don't know, one of those sticks. Anyway, why am I forgetting it? Not barbecue, but the what's the other word for it? When they put meat on a stick with vegetables. that meal. Steve Long. Oh man, thank you guys, appreciate it. Thank you for all the birthday love. Dana Shadell, the awesome mod. Thank you for being here. Okay. So let's get into some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, besides, good old Jason Sands. Let's see here. Where did we leave off? Okay, this is something I wanted to talk about the other day, but we had a surprise visit from John Greenwald. Ended up having the whole show. John was here, so that was an amazing show. So if you didn't get to watch that, go check it out. It was our last show. God, yeah, there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about that we didn't get to. Okay, so this is one thing here. This happened last weekend over Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. And I wanted to, again, I love this as a reminder as to what the United States military, the DOD, and lawmakers are genuinely worried about. Now, this is, of course, a very exaggerated version, but what you're looking at here is a drone display of hundreds of drones. Okay, it was a display that was bought by Marvel. It's a promo, it's a promotion. It's a huge promotion over Comic-Con announcing the new Galactus films and stuff like that. So they hired a drone company. We've seen this before. But again, I just love pointing these things out because this really puts a very scary twist on something really cool. And something very real that's actually happening in our skies. So this technology, you could buy all of these drones, the syncing systems, and you could operate it with 2 or 3 people. If you're running a really light crew, probably it'd be better with a crew of 10. I mean, really the thing is setting up all the drones to make sure they take off properly and land properly so you don't obviously ruin the drones. But this is a really cheap technology. You're talking about maybe $500,000 to $700,000 investment in drones, people, the whole nine, right? Like running a company. But if you're doing it, say, as a terrorist cell operating within the United States, you could probably cut that budget to $500,000 and buy the exact same systems and then spend another $500,000 to $1 million strapping these drone systems with anthrax, pipe bombs, C4. The list goes on. I mean, the terrors, really, it's up to the human mind that is the limit as far as what you can do with a drone system like this nefariously. And this is something that the United States is in fact preparing for. And the thing is that we have, I wouldn't say quite as many drones as this, but there have been many drones in swarming formations over our nuclear facilities, over our naval fleets, flying close in proximity to our fighter jets and training areas. They are seen over, again, not only military bases, but infrastructure, in very important infrastructure points, like nuclear power plants, bridges, water plants, things like that, dams. Imagine flying 100 of these into the Hoover Dam. Like, you're talking about a very cheap technology that's very difficult to detect, very difficult to combat. You can't shoot this down with a jet. You're going to definitely miss a few of them, if not all of them. Like, this is a terrifying prospect. And this is why there's, I think, so much secrecy around this, because they don't want the American people to know that that is above their heads, and not in a cute light show, in a way where you don't see these things. You will not see them coming. And to me, I think that's what keeps up intelligence officials at night. Other guys that have the same security clearances as like David Grush or Lou Elizondo or Christopher Mellon or Sean Kirkpatrick. Like, there's a lot of guys in women, a lot of people in the intelligence community that know about this. And it's an issue. And I think lawmakers, I said, and we've talked about this with John Greenwald, we've talked about this with Mick West. The good part about all of this UFO grassroots that we did, all of the attention that this conversation and those videos have brought to the topic, is the flip side of that is that lawmakers are now aware of these things. And they're taking steps. They're taking steps to hopefully combat it. I don't think it's totally possible. But I mean, I don't know. I think, this is a terrifying prospect. Or, even something as simple as just spying on how we do things, our sources and methods, listening to how we communicate, seeing how we react to things, new planes, new technologies. I mean, that's just like surface level stuff. And then it gets to the really, really scary stuff. So again, I just wanted to point this out and just show this. Like, this is wild. This is absolutely crazy. I mean, how massive this display looks in the sky. And this is over an entire the San Diego Comic Con. Like, man, this is so cool. But watch what happens. I mean, look at that, dude. And again, like, imagine using this thing. Like, these are the sort of things that Paul Benowitz was filming. Imagine seeing this in 1990. Obviously not that, but a version of that. I mean, even what we have here on the screen, look at that. That's just like 70 drones, just lit up in little white lights, moving around erratically. That right there in 1990 would be enough to make you go, oh my God, we're being invaded. There's a treaty between the United States and our government with aliens. They get to kidnap us and our cows and swap assholes and teats as much as they want, just as long as our government gets some technology in exchange. It's so silly. It's so silly. But again, imagine you had a camcorder living close to an airbase in 1990 filming this, and then somebody knocks on your door from the Air Force and says, hey, I want to talk about the things you're filming, and I want to tell you a little bit about what you are filming. Come with me. And then sends him down a hole so deep that they end up in a mental institution, which they die in. Dude, this is like, you guys, when you step back and really, really take a look at this stuff, there are so many reasons why people didn't see this from 1990 till 2013, 2014, when commercial drones were first available. And that doesn't even count commercially available drone swarm systems. That probably didn't happen till 2016. You know, we started seeing that stuff around the Olympics. That's when we really first started seeing this tech in a public way. This is pretty wild. I mean, dude, if you had no idea this was Comic-Con and you just saw this and somebody filmed this snippet right here and sent it in, this was testing over a military base. Look at that. I saw a portal, man. I saw a portal. And these drones seem to be, I think they have actual flares on them. Like, that's actual smoke coming off of these drones. So again, it's not, they have payloads. They're possible payloads. So just keep that in mind. I don't know. I found that incredibly interesting. But yeah, they did Wolverine, they did Deadpool. It was cool. Okay, we'll get to that UFO video in a little bit. This was also something that I found incredibly, again, flip side, if you're the kind of person who's like, God damn it, Lou, why can't it be aliens, man? I want it to be aliens. And I'm like, yeah, man, I know, me too. I get it. But it's not, right? But check this out. Check this out. Look at what humans are working on here. And again, if we're seeing this publicly, there's a good chance this might have been developed militarily speaking a long time ago. Especially if we have these drone systems that are capable of carrying a technology as such as this is what we're looking at. So Stanford engineers have created a bird-like robot that can perch and carry objects just like a bird. And it's a video of these legs, essentially, you know, on a drone system, landing on branches, being able to pick things up. Like, the applications for something like that are pretty wide. There's a lot of stuff you could do with something like that. Now, imagine if it militarize this. Just make it 4 times bigger and make those talons actually sharp, to where they can, I don't know, pick up a payload of a couple 100 pounds. And you had 700 of them in the sky, you know, whirling blades with claws on them. And then you throw a couple machine guns in, holy shit. You've almost got something as scary as sharks with laser beams attached to their heads in real life. Amazing. So, again, the human mind is capable of some really amazing technologies, ideas, concepts, and being able to put that into practical use. You know, just keep reminding yourself of that. If you're still on this, oh man, I want to believe, but there's no evidence kind of fence. Just keep remembering stuff like this. Like, humans are really cool. We do really cool shit all the time. This is also something I wanted to say. It was actually the title of the show, but then we had to change it because Greenwald showed up. Damn you, Greenwald, for making our show so much better than having to talk about this guy. But this is going to be the subject of our last show. Thankfully, other stuff has happened, so we don't have to make this a main point of the show. But J. Christopher King, again, one of the first guys, along with Sean Rash and Joe Mergia and UAP Mike and all those guys, one of the first guys that really started attacking our show and what we were doing way before Lou Reviews, way before this show was seen as this aggressive Wolverine that lashes out at a lot of believers, and people who propagate bullshit. So this guy writes, this fall is going to be absolutely insane for so many people invested in the UFO UAP field. Prepare yourselves to deal with a lot of erratic behavior and seemingly rational people rage quitting the field. It's going to be a very strange time. And again, this is what me and Greenwald were talking about on the show the other day. These prophecies that these are the same guys that post articles with no FOIA requests, that post facts with no verification, no sort of vetting of the source, no source period. These are the same guys. So I'm going to take a guess here as to maybe what this might mean. We had Stephen Greenstreet, 2 or 3 months ago, mention that there was a lot of people who said with Lou Elizondo that are in the inside circle that were buddies. That seemingly to Greenstreet, they all seemed cool with each other. And then all of a sudden, the book started, I guess, getting passed around within this circle, and people started reading it, and they started getting upset because some of the stories that were theirs were now in this book. And this is unverified rumor, but if this is sort of hinting at there might be a rift within this community, I mean, why do people, for so many people invested in the UFO field, prepare yourselves to deal with a lot of erratic behavior and seemingly rational people rage quitting the field? If there was a big, if you had, let's say, Ralph Blumenthal, Leslie Kane, Tom DeLonge, I don't think Christopher Mellon would be part of that group, considering he wrote the foreword to the book. But let's say those three came out and publicly said, yeah, those stories in that book, these specifically, those are all lies and or secondhand stories from us that we did not approve to be in that book, causing a rift and an argument between all of these UFO fake whistleblower, fake journalists, fake celebrities are now going to have this pissing contest on, well, who gets to control this narrative? Because yeah, I could tell you that there's one thing about the UFO community is all of them believe their own narrative. They believe what they believe. And then as soon as they hear another theory, but in the same ballpark, they dismiss it. They're like, no, that is crazy. What I believe, not crazy. What you believe, corn people, get out of here. Hit the road, Jack, with that one. That one's fucking nuts. But aliens kidnapping cows, totally real. I mean, Jason Sands being part of a program where he was sent to Mars and back to be a child super soldier, totally okay. Totally real. Corn people, get the fuck out. It's funny, dude. It's so funny. We went over that. Okay, so this was something that caught my attention. And since then, this entire interview has been made public. Okay, I'm going to play this clip. So it's from this guy, Andres. Let me see. I don't think he posted it. I think did he repost it? Okay, so it's the interview is titled Bitcoin War Games with Matthew Pines. And I'm going to put the link in the live chat so you guys can go check it out. And sorry, guys, I hope I'm not missing anything like I was last week in the live chat. So this is Matthew Pines, this gentleman here. And he's a crypto bro. And I heard this clip, and my mind immediately went somewhere. And then of course, my blood started boiling. Because I don't know how the UFO community sort of gets away with this shit or lets people get away with this shit. And again, this is just a theory. It's just my hunch. Okay. I'm going to play the clip first, and then I'm going to tell you guys where I think this guy heard this. Okay. So let's listen to this clip.
The ratchet was kind of like David Grush's first guy. Carl coming out validating that. He validated it before in the initial article, but he just kind of came hard to the paint and said it just straight out. And people would just, and there was like an investors conference, like, what did that guy just say? Like, what? And people were just like, okay, let's go get some drinks. So it hasn't quite sunk in yet. And so I think this is kind of this, it's got to hit a few times. And then, so Lou Elizondo's book, in fact, I read the first few chapters already. The full book hasn't come out. It's going to be a wild book, I'll tell you that.
What's it called?
It's called Imminent.
Oh, the Imminent book. Okay.
Yeah. And so, but then that's going to trigger these documentaries, other people. And then I believe the coup de grace will be coming sometime this year with someone that everyone would recognize if they watch, if they paid attention to the news, you would know this person.
Wild.
The ratchet.
Okay, so another fucking prediction, right? But this time it's from a crypto bro. What's going on? Why is this guy talking about it? He must know something. Maybe. Or maybe, just maybe, that penthouse meeting that David Grush had last year, where it was an invite only in a billionaire's penthouse, where he talked to a select handful of crypto billionaires and other billionaires to pitch them whatever he's pitching them. I'm assuming it's going to have to do with, the Americans for Safe Aerospace, or one of these foundations that he's a part of and that Lou's a part of, and how they need money and investment. And they're just the perfect fucking guys to take all of your money and find these aliens for you. Trust me, bro. And these are the perfect idiots, the perfect dummies to invest in this shit. So my hunch is that this guy was at that penthouse meeting. And at that meeting, they were getting things from Dave Grush. And who knows, maybe Elizondo was there too. I don't think so. But this idea that, this first it was Lou Elizondo. He's the guy that brought it forward, right? Then we had David Grush, and man, that guy just took it to the next level. And then now Lou Elizondo's book, that's coming out, dude, bro, crazy. It's going to be crazy, some crazy stuff in there. Believe it, right? Believe it, because I heard this at the meeting I was at. Then after that crazy book comes out, somebody who people had seen is going to come out and say something really big on this. Sounds like Jesse Michaels. This sounds a little bit, well, definitely like Dave Grush. I was going to say Gary Nolan. They're looking for they're looking for the billionaire version of me, or the billionaire version of any one of the umpteen believers that you see in these Twitter spaces or on UFO Twitter, or really anywhere. Not just limited there. Trust me, if we were all billionaires, we'd have no problems getting meetings with Gary Nolan and Elizondo and whoever we wanted to. You want to hear the UFO secrets? Cool, bro. I'll do it at your penthouse. Talks like this, I'm out of work. I'd have to charge you guys $200,000 to do this talk at this penthouse. $250,000, like I'm a UFO whistleblower and put my life on the line here for you guys. I mean, that's what I would fucking charge. Why not? Former presidents get speaking fees, authors. I mean, scientists, for Christ's sake. People that people want to hear from. You want to hear my UFO secrets? Pay me, bro. And I'll give you all the secrets you want. I'll tell you everything you want to hear. Oh, also, hey, do you want to give me a full-time job since I need work? We're looking for an investment of, what, Lou? $3 billion? Between the 15 of you guys, I'm sure we can scrap that together. And don't worry, I'll make myself the CEO and I'll find these UFOs for you. Don't worry. I got you, dog. It's frustrating, man. It is really, really frustrating. I think we went over that. Average Chris said here after the interview with Greenwald, Manny 503, after we were talking about the HIPAA, Chris was talking about HIPAA violations, and we were discussing this also on my show. Manny 503 said, John Greenwald made an important point on Lou Reviews yesterday. He said the documents redacted all personal information, so by themselves, you couldn't even tell it was Grush. Kent had to use other documents to prove it was him. Another nail in the coffin for the lawsuit. And it's true, man. Like, this lawsuit is so weird. But it'll be funny if it gets tossed out of court. And here's what's going to happen if it does get tossed out of court. People are going to yell. They're going to cry. Oh, yeah, it's a conspiracy. The government tossed it out of court because they don't want the truth out there. It's like there's no winning. There's no winning. No matter what happens. If he wins $1, all the aliens and everything he said is validated. If it gets tossed out of court, it's the conspiracy. There's no winning. Kaplizier, thank you so much for the donation. 551. NASA found life on Snickers twice. Some anonymous remote chewer did spit some bars of evidence in a balloon factory in Wuhan, Chinese intel claims. Man, thank you so much for the donation. I always appreciate it. Steve Long, even in a field as grifty and speculative as cryptocurrency, Grush and his alien BS were too much to swallow. Indeed. Let me see here. Check something out. All right. So, man, this was really funny. This guy, or this person, Macario, is clipping the shit out of David Wilcock, and it is hilarious. And I haven't watched Cambion's breakdown of Wilcock and what happened there. I gotta watch it. I'm gonna probably listen to it on my drive down to San Diego tomorrow. But I'm interested to see what happened there. But yeah, listen to this clip from David Wilcock. This is just so weird and cringe. It's like watching a car wreck. You really can't take your eyes off of it.
And the one thing that my father's lawyer told me, that an Italian grandma, she kept saying,
how privileged is that? One thing my father's lawyer told me. Daddy's got me a lawyer.
My father's lawyer told me that an Italian grandma, she kept saying, the less you say. I don't know if she actually had a cigarette on her face when she was doing this.
Look at this.
The less you say, the better. The less you say, the better, David. Don't say anything at all except the absolute minimum that you absolutely have to say. The less, I kept trying to ask her questions. She's like, the less you say, the better. It's like, all right, well, the less I say, the better. I get it. And that's exactly what should be happening in this situation with the person, Steven, who's doing this. He keeps getting himself more and more incriminated every time he makes a video. It's kind of amazing.
Oh, okay. All right. So Cambion's making videos about him, and Wilcock doesn't like it. So Wilcock is lawyering up, I guess. Well, Wilcock, I hope you do. I genuinely hope you do. I would love to see that. And I promise you, if it goes to court, I'm going to do everything in my power to have exclusive access to Steve Cambion to come on my show and break down each day in court and what happened. Because I would love to see you prove in a court of law that Steve Cambion did whatever you think he did to you. But you would have to prove that the claims you're making are real. Because if he's calling you a liar, which I think he is, if he's calling you a scam artist, which I think he is, yeah, you better be able to prove it's not just an IP, no matter who Daddy's lawyer is. So, yeah, I would love to see
his
that.
Latest video has created a whole bunch of new problems for him that he didn't have before. I don't know why he keeps making public statements and admitting to what he's doing, but for your own sake, please just get an attorney. And the first thing the attorney's going to tell you is stop talking online, stop making attacks. The best you're going to get is maybe a plea bargain. You're definitely going to jail either way.
Going to jail. Look at this guy. He's wearing a fucking tuxedo, a bow tie. What's going on? What's the special occasion? Cambion going to prison? This is so funny, dude. This is so funny. Average Chris always makes great points. Man, I think I want him to be my co-host. I don't know if he'll co-host with me. I would love for him to be my co-host. It would be so damn fun to have him here every day. The Average Chris writes, here's something fun. David Grush, a career intel guy, not knowing what a skiff actually stands for. Hint, hint, it's not a, quote, specialized compartmented information facility. Let's listen to this clip. I noticed this also when he said it. Yeah, great clip. It's a great point. Let's listen to it. Oh man, we got another donation from Capliz here. Says his father's lawyer is the new sugar daddy of Wilcock's ex-wife, codename She-Man Danny. Interesting. Wilcock's ex-wife. Dude. Yeah, there's so many weird things in... Yeah. I don't want to get any lawyer letters at my door from Will. I don't have time. I got other shit to do. Other fish to fry. Let's listen to this.
For the whole thing was that you were denied a skiff.
What does SCIF stand for, just for people?
It was a specialized compartmented information facility, right?
For the whole
Right. I think I did bring that up on my show. I was like, wait, right? Are you asking Jesse? Why are you asking Jesse Michaels if that's right? You should know. You're the guy who was in it. You're the intelligence guy. You're the guy who speaks the language, right? The nomenclature. You should know that. Dude. All right, so this happened. Good old Gary Nolan, and we've got a new propaganda-approved podcast that's been getting some big interviews with some big names, man. And it's called Through a Glass Darkly. And this is, I think I'm gonna clip this because it feels so similar to the one clip I made already of Gary Nolan where he skips a few steps in science. I call the clip Nolan Science. As a matter of fact, let's play it, right? I mean, how could we not? How could we not play this? Where is it? There you are. Where are you, Nolan Science? I know that's what I called it. There it is. I got the Nolan Flutter. That one's also great too. Let's go ahead and play this one because this is a classic. Again, This is Gary Nolan, guy with his name on a building at Stanford. This is the guy who everybody loves to pull out when... Oh, where'd it go? Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. There you are. All right, let's go ahead and play this.
Here's how I think about it. I think it's sort of like an intelligence test. It's rife for ridicule, but if you are sufficiently observant and smart, you can jump to the conclusion of what it is without having to have all of the data that proves it, right? And so I can know that something is true without being able to draw a mathematical or geometric line between A to Z. And so I think that's part of what's going on here. That is like, do you know what is in front of you and what you're seeing? And it draws you forward. I mean, it's very self-congratulatory, obviously, thinking that, we are the chosen, et cetera. Right. And it's, it makes you similarly subject to ridicule.
Right. So he's chosen. He feels that he's chosen. And because of that feeling that he thinks he's chosen by the aliens, that opens him up to ridicule. But if you're fairly intelligent enough, you can figure it out for yourself. You don't need a mathematical A to B to Z line. You can just skip a few steps.
But I don't see it as that. I see it as people who are showing the way.
Oh. So... yeah, that's all of you here on the panel, all of you showing the way. You guys are so special, the chosen ones. So now here's Gary 3 years later. Let's see what he's saying today.
People often ask, is there something here? I think the question is different. The question should be, can something be here? Because if you can't imagine something being here, having gotten here from somewhere else, then you're never going to imagine that it's actually here, right? So, sorry. And so you can run the numbers. Even if you were to travel at just simple 10,000 miles an hour by rocket, it would only take you 5 billion years to get across the whole galaxy. Now, only 5 billion years. Mm-hmm. But it already, that time has already happened. We don't have to worry about will it happen. It has already happened.
Okay.
So, we could start today. And I was actually working with Avi Loeb on a project to create the first of the human von Neumann probes.
Oh, Gary Nolan's working on von Neumann probes now. Nolan and Avi Loeb are now shifting their focus on von Neumann probes. What happened to getting a picture of these things? What happened to setting up these camera capturing systems all around the world? What happened to that? What happened to the little metals that you found at the bottom of the ocean that turned out to be just normal things? What happened to those? Oh, okay, we've moved on. We're on to von Neumann probes now.
We could fast forward 5 billion years and we could be everywhere just at simple rocket speeds. I mean, and we're within reach of being able to have the AI that would do everything that I just talked about, right? Speed that up, 100-fold, and you take 5 billion years, and now you're 50 million years everywhere. Speed it up a little more, and if you could go as fast as light speed, the galaxy is only 100,000 light years across. In a couple of 100,000 years, you're everywhere. So can you be here?
Sure, absolutely. But when we see that, if they were everywhere, when we see that, when we have evidence of that, when we have communication with that, you're right, it's been 5 billion years. More than that. And they still haven't stopped by? Still haven't checked it out. Yeah. I guess we're low on the list.
Is answered. The short answer is yes. Now, you ask anybody else, who, will think of for a moment, what's the likelihood that there's something else out there? Everybody says.
Yeah, pretty good.
1. that I speak to, and these are not like people who are in the area, they say, of course, why not? It'd be arrogant to think we're the only ones.
Yeah.
So you put together, can you be here, with the likelihood that there already is something else that's out there, and suddenly the probability that something is here jumps enormously. People often,
I don't know. And what is enormously? What's the number? And again, where are they? Where's the evidence? Outside of trust me, bro. I mean, when they redid the Drake equation, when Lex Fridman redid his version of the Drake equation, he actually mathematically put it out there. And even his version of the Drake equation amplifies the possibility of intelligent extraterrestrial life in our Milky Way, in our solar system, or not our solar system, our galaxy, excuse me. It's an inevitability. But that doesn't mean they're coming here. Maybe they are. Maybe they have. But those are maybes. Those are big ifs. And those big ifs and those big maybes need some big evidence. So then we can have some big conversations. And that instantly makes this planet way smaller than it already is. The discovery of something like this, man, how quickly it would unite all nations. I would think it would. Why wouldn't it? Blizzard, some donations, man. Thank you so much. Remember, Limp Bizkit track, keep rolling, keep Nolan. I love it. Somebody should AI that song. Keep Nolan. Yeah. Nolan, no evidence. Yeah, it's the same beat, man. It's the same song. Same song. Hydrogen fuel technologies. Get a big Wilcock. I'm okay with having the conversation, have they been here? It's fun. It's a fun philosophical conversation. But the moment it goes to, oh, it's definitely happening, you're chosen, you're special, you get to show the way. These are his quotes. That's when I'm like, no, I'm out. No, you're not that special. You're not. You're just not. You're not that special, Mr. Nolan. Sorry. Do we want another Wilcock clip? I think we do.
So as I said before, you might have people who are practicing darkness in their homes, but they don't ever talk about it.
For my podcast listeners out there, he is wearing a bow tie and a tuxedo, essentially. I should probably put my fair use banner up. Fair use. This is transformative work. We're educating the public about David Wilcock. This is covered under fair use and allowable by law. We're also mocking him because this is hilarious. Biggest mistake with YouTubers, and I had a hard time swallowing this pill too. It took me a while to learn this. Nobody needs to see your background, man. Yes, it's always nice to have a nice, colorful lit background, cool things happening, but we can see your lights. Nobody wants to see that. And this frame is awful. But he's got to get his guitar in there. He's got to show you, hey, I play guitar. I've got a YouTube, I think it's a YouTube button, a play button from ripping people off about UFO stories and aliens and being able to be a super soldier. Like, yeah. Dude, zoom in a bit.
This is taking place, but then they say, well, I love my kids and I'm a good parent and blah, blah, blah. Well, then why are you yelling? In Michael Prophecies, I talk about the fact that yelling at your kids is essentially as bad as physical violence. It's It causes the same type of trauma. It can cause psychopathy. It can cause PTSD. So,
does David Wilcock have kids? Why is he giving parenting advice?
if you're
What's happening?
regularly yelling at your children, then
You've been
you are
cocked.
creating sizable damage that they're going to be in therapy about later in their lives. So when we have that type of permissive attitude towards abuse, when abuse is occurring in our families and we act like, it's not a big deal, whatever, it's not a big deal. So as I said before, you might have people who are practicing darkness in their homes, but
Darkness in their homes. So funny, dude. Oh, this is great. Yeah. So Average Chris says, looks like Ross Coulthard doesn't like being called out on his inaccuracies of reporting and his past in Australia when he reported on something incorrectly without vetting sources. Spreading false information and conspiracies are his MO, which ironically intertwine. So he writes here, Ross Coulthard wrote, now that news about David Grush's lawsuit against the Loudoun County Sheriff is out, folks should know why the misuse of Grush's sensitive health records was grossly improper. Grush's health records should not have been released or published. To which Chris writes, but it wasn't medical records. They were law enforcement records released via FOIA. Once again, you aren't fact-checking like you did on 60 Minutes Australia and posting misinformation. Law enforcement records are public. You're just mad because this ruins Grush's credibility. Which is true. Them's be the facts. I don't know. Why did I do that? Oh, yeah. Don't need to bookmark that one. Okay. This one was cool. This was posted or retweeted by I'm Not Here, This Isn't Happening. Good old Pip. And he writes, funny that aliens mostly visit countries where sci-fi in English is popular. Look at this. Reported UFO sightings from 1906 to 2014. Look at the United States in comparison to the rest of the world. Look at that. There's a reason for that, folks. And again, keep in mind that the United States, geographically speaking, is one of the smallest continents on the planet. Or, well, part of one of, when I say countries, one of the smallest countries on the planet. And it's got the most UFO sightings out of any country, anywhere. But then I look at the landmass as well, like compared to Africa or even South America. North America is tiny. It really is compared to, all of Asia. Look at this map, man. I mean, just absolutely wild. If looking at this and you don't say to yourself, I mean, even Hawaii is lit up. You don't say to yourself, yeah, man, this is our toys. This is our stuff. And all of these other places that are lit up overseas are all other places where the United States has air bases and military assets, especially here in Australia and Great Britain. Like, I don't understand how anybody can look at this map and say to themselves, yeah, this is real. It's real. But the people in Africa don't see them at all. There's no crash craft here. Why? Why? And even as much lore and as much as UFOs and things in the sky are in the mythology for South America, it is nowhere near as lit up as I thought it should be. As ingrained as that is in the cultures here in South America. Nothing. Almost nothing here in the middle. Compared, again, to the United States. I just love this entire part of Africa. The only things that are seen in Africa are basically parts of the coastline. Tip of South Africa. And that's about it. That's about it, man. Yeah. Again, something to think about. This was also incredibly cool. So this is a bird-shaped drone. I don't think this is being used by the Marines. This looks like a Chinese military exercise because, well, the broadcast is in Chinese and the soldier throwing the bird drone appears to be Chinese. But let's take a look. Like, if this is Chinese tech that they're sharing on TV, I cannot imagine what kind of other animal mimicking spying devices that the United States might have. Check this out. He's in the water like a Navy SEAL, and then he launches this bird. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. Love it. Just love how they recreate these military exercises. He's like in a park lake launching this super soldier bird. I love it. It's so funny. But again, that's not the point. The point is, like, you know, you hear and read about these drone systems that are smaller than your thumbnail. You know, or things that look like cockroaches, listening devices, and camera systems that look like bugs. Just, again, like, things to keep in mind, man, when you see something in the sky. This was really cool, and you know what? I hope this is a sign of things to come for Twitter. I'm sure Elon Musk gets a ton of shit from UFO believers about his non-belief in UFOs. You would figure the guy spending the most money going into space and looking at space would come back with the conclusion, oh yeah, there's aliens. They're coming in and out of our atmosphere. They're everywhere. Holy shit, you guys... Like, you wouldn't believe it. Blizzard. Grush with 222 donation. Grush sued the sheriff, but he didn't sue the deputy. Ooh. Thanks for the dono. This was a video that was again, one of those videos that was so hot, it was so cool, everybody's talking about it on the internet. Oh man, is this real? Is this real? Is this real? I watched this video, and like all UFO videos, I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it, and then I'm going to tell you what Twitter did to combat it. And I hope that more stuff like this pops up on these stupid-ass UFO videos, and I hope it starts popping up just like it starts popping up on YouTube. These pro-UFO believing YouTube channels, there is always like Wikipedia links and, you know, fact correction links underneath those channels. Some of, not all, but some of those really egregious channels, which is, it's just nice to see that there is some common sense being applied to these really stupid things. But this is, you know, again, allegedly clearest UFO video in history, filmed in Brazil. A viral video allegedly capturing a triangular UFO over Curitiba, Brazil, is being called the clearest footage yet of an unidentified aerial phenomena. The object appears to have landing gear, which vanishes later in the footage. Why would aliens need landing gear? Anyway, the video posted by Zona Desconhecida has taken social media by storm. What do y'all think? Source RT. Okay, so again, there is no link, there's no metadata on the video, right? They put this out there, and this thing starts making its rounds like wildfire. So let's watch this video. always so shit. Yeah, that looks... that can easily be a balloon. Okay, when they get in here at the end, it starts to look a lot more real. When I was over here, I was like, this looks CGI. Right here, especially when he zooms in on it the first time. But then he gets really, really close at the end here. And here, I think, is where you could really sort of get an idea of, oh, yeah, this could easily be a balloon. And it definitely, it looks like real footage when I'm scrubbing through it. But here's the thing: it's real footage as far as you can tell. But again, there's the thing with these videos always. There's like, why isn't the person filming this talking? Why aren't they like, oh my God, holy shit, is everybody seeing this? Bob, whip out your camera. Let's exchange information. Never, ever, ever, ever. Right? And then it just ends in this weird, inconspicuous place. Like, if this is, you really thought this was an alien spacecraft, this is where you stop? Right when you zoom in on it as close as you possibly can? This is where you stop. It doesn't make any sense. So when I see stuff like this, I'm always like, dude, this looks... there's no context. Again, there's no... Like, you want this to be really vetted. It should be the original footage. And it's not the original footage. You can tell because it's all degraded. So it's a copy of a copy of a copy. So again, there's no real way to verify this, even if you wanted to, right? They give you the city of Brazil, but not exactly where. Like what corner, what street is it? What day was it? What time was it? Who else was there? You know? There's so many other things that you could include with this, but it never is. It never ever is. And so, yeah, so Twitter put on here, while it is always impossible to definitively prove/disprove the existence of UFOs or alien ships, this object is highly likely to be a festival balloon flying above Brazil. Evidence provided below. And then they link a YouTube video with the time link of a balloon exactly like that one being launched somewhere in South America. August 1st, 2024, this was uploaded. So it was probably actually this actual balloon.
Olha aí, tomando forma.
Look at that
tá
thing.
ficando com formato
Yeah.
estrela. Mas avançar mais um pouquinho. Eu já conto aqui nas minhas duas mãos quantas vezes eu tive que chegar e falar para a pessoa, gente, isso aqui é um balão estrela, não é um OVNI. É muito comum as pessoas confundirem esse tipo de balão com OVNI.
It's in Portuguese. Yeah, so I mean, it easily could be Brazil. Yeah, dude, look at that thing.
Aqui não parece um OVNI.
Look at that thing, dude.
Mesmo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isso aqui que a gente tá vendo é o mesmo tipo de balão.
It looks like it's the exact same one.
Ele fica parado no céu, né? Não faz nada além disso.
There you go.
Se ele começar
Figured
a
out.
zigue-zague, se ele
It's a balloon. But Michael Huntington finds it so fascinating. What's this? Oh, is this an alien spaceship with landing gear? Oh, so interesting. Oh my God, the possibilities. It's so incredible. Okay. So now let's get to the title of the show, shall we? So the other day, I'm still clipping this together. I'm going to put it up on the YouTube here, probably next week, just because I don't have a lot of time this weekend. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff happening. But I hope to have this up next week with subtitles and everything. But these are a couple of clips from a Jason Sands space. Some moments where I went, wow, that's interesting. And the reactions to the information that was being shared is also interesting. We're going to break it down as we listen to this. The first part I found really funny is anytime Jason Sands comes in these spaces, he is highly protected from anyone with any real questions. As a matter of fact, the last time he was in a space, I was trying desperately to get some questions in there from some people, one of which who told me, Lou, I'm afraid to ask the question because if I do, I'm going to get permanently kicked from these spaces, and I don't want that to happen. I wanted to be able to interact with these people, even though they're limiting and making me fear the questions that I'm putting forward. It should be a huge red flag for anyone listening to these spaces. The truth shouldn't fear questions. If Jason Sands is telling the truth, he shouldn't fear any fucking questions, and he shouldn't need any UFO handlers to immediately kick people out the second that they think that someone is about to question him in a way that they don't deem appropriate. And it shows right here, right from the top of this clip. I was like, wow, that's interesting. So this is one of the UFO believers, and I'm going to leave their names out of it because honestly, I don't want anybody following them because they're a complete waste of time. Most of them pose as skeptics. They pose as these scientifically minded, forward thinking, progressively thinking, rationally thinking people. And when you get into these conversations with them, they put you in a place where it's mud spinning. You never get anywhere with the conversations you have with them because every time you provide a solution for their mystery, a more rational explanation, and rational explanations need to be completely ruled out before you get to the exceptional and rare explanations. And if you can't rule out the rational ones, then you can't go to those next steps. You just can't. But not with the UFO believer. Not with the person who wants to put these conversations in the mud and just have you spin your wheels. Because the second you provide a solution, then they change the goalposts. They're like, yeah, but what about this part of it? You don't explain this. Okay, well, what about this rational explanation for that part of it? And then they ignore that. They ignore the solution that you give them and immediately go on to the next thing that's mysterious about it without acknowledging that, yeah, the rational thing you just said is probably what it is. So because of this fear and this kid glove treating of Jason Sands, they almost kick out one of their own. Let's listen.
Please.
Anything that's interesting you can legally share with us that you can think of, and are we going to get like categorized lists of who and what and where kind of thing?
Well, I can't talk about the exact names. I can talk about,
of course,
probably locations to a certain extent.
I don't think we need locations. We need like who and...
Oh, wait, hold on, Jay, let's...
Yeah, let's, you know what, I'm going to skip my turn. Let's do Star Dude and then...
Already, they want to shut her up. She's like, oh, wait a second, we don't need locations. I was thinking more along the lines of, whoa, just shut the fuck up. Hold on a second. I'll even give my question up just to get the next person up. Please, just shut the fuck up, little lady. But then someone comes to some rational, whoa.
And then UFO intros.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Hold
go ahead.
She just wants to clarify her question.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I thought you were trying to ask a hard question. I thought you were trying to make Jason Sands uncomfortable with a hard question. My bad. My bad. Fuck you. Fuck you. They do this shit with Richard Doty. They do this shit with every asshole that comes through this, that blesses them, that graces their presence with an appearance in a fucking Twitter space. They're so grateful. They're so drooling at the mouth for the opportunity, because in their tiny fucking brains, they think that they're going to turn this into some movement. Into, oh man, if I could just get this Jason Sands interview, then we could get a really big following and we could take this message right to the top and I could be famous. I could be talking at UFO cons. You have to be good to get to. Almost any idiot can do it, but not quite every idiot can. You know what I mean? You gotta have some kind of talent. And when you handle your people answering questions the way you do, and when you handle your guests the way you do, you'll never, ever grow as a channel. Ever. But, whatever.
Yeah. And then also, I would love those locations.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say
I don't
yes.
want to get anyone in trouble, guys.
No.
No one's getting in trouble.
Because I'm not going to talk about, the classified pieces or the things that should remain.
He's not going to talk about the classified pieces, but he'll tell you all you want to hear about aliens and going to Mars. None of that shit for some reason is classified. Go on.
Confidential, like my friends' names and things like that.
Yeah, I just want to know about the NHR themselves. Like, what
that's
we dealing
totally
with?
unclassified. Totally
Yeah,
unclassified.
so that's what I want to know about.
Why are the non-human intelligence totally unclassified? Why is that an unclassified section of this discussion? You would think the non-human intelligence aspect of this would be classified, but not according to Jason Sands. No, you can say NHI all you want. You can say non-human intelligence all you want. Sometimes I'll even say alien. Not today, though.
I'm more interested in who and what and where and from and like who are, our fellow space brethren.
Who are our fellow space brethren? This is the skeptical person in the conversation. Who are our space brethren, Jason Sands? Can you take out another present from your bag of bullshit and let me open it up so I could just consume it and make my belief system put these new socks right onto my belief system? Thanks, UFO Santa.
Oh, okay. Well, inside the program, I knew of only the tall whites and the grays.
Oh, so inside, you only knew of 2 alien races. Only 2? The tall whites and the grays? Go on.
And I think there was a mention of reptilians in it, maybe.
Oh, now the reptilians. So that's 3?
Only 1 or 2 conversations, but it was very scant. And I wasn't able to draw as many conclusions. However, the blue...
Oh, you weren't able to draw as many conclusions. Pin that. Because how many other of these stories is it you drawing conclusions? Are they all you drawing conclusions? I have a feeling that all of the stuff you say is just drawing conclusions, and that's why it's not classified. And that's why you're not getting in trouble. But it could be why your security clearance might be getting revoked or is revoked. And it could be the reason why you're not finding work in the field of expertise that you're good in. Maybe. Only you can answer that. I don't know the answer to that. I'm just throwing out some theories. But according to Jason Sands, he's unemployed and looking for work. So unemployed and so hurting that UFO Twitter decided it was going to do a fundraiser and give money to Jason Sands so he can pay his bills. The UFO whistleblower needs money. Weird. You figure the guy bringing world-changing secrets wouldn't need any fucking money, because there should be people knocking down his door to write the movie or the book, right? Where is that? Where's your TV show? If you're a super soldier that can travel through time, why don't you look up some lottery numbers while you're in the future, and then come back so you can play the numbers, baby? So many questions.
Blues and the tall whites and the
tall whites
grays are the ones that were mainly
reptilians
involved in any of the programs. But even then, when I say involved, it wasn't full-time involvement. They really didn't like working with the humans at all on any kind of technology, because we've, time after time, taken what they thought was for a benefit to mankind and turned it into a weapon system.
So let me get this straight. According to Jason Sands, time after time, so a few times, many times it sounds like, the aliens gave humans technology that would change humanity for the better, and instead we weaponized it. Shame on you, humanity. So what did the aliens do? They did it again. And again. And again. According to Mr. Jason Sands. For some reason, they keep getting duped by a lower intelligence to give them more technology that we can weaponize. Also that what? They can take cows and implant humans with tracking chips? Tracking chips that nobody's ever pulled out of anyone? Tracking chips that show no signs whatsoever of being technology? Those tracking chips sound delicious. Someone should make that into some potato chips or something.
And that, I think, they found very discouraging. So if they ever participated, it had to be very managed, very controlled, and it could not be to produce some kind of a weapon that, they had a direct impact on. Only that they would help with the, maybe laboratory environment. That's about as much as I ever saw.
That's really interesting that they're the ones that were keeping us in a box.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think
that's really
why,
interesting.
Again,
it's the aliens keeping us in the box. How did you get that from that? It sounds like we're the ones duping them for more alien technology to make weapons out of. But for some reason, the things people see in the sky are not the reverse engineered things that they got from the alien technology they swapped with. It's the things they see in the sky are actually the aliens piloting those, not humans. I don't know how you decipher. How do you know? If you believe this bullshit, how do you know what you're looking at? Kind of painting yourself in a corner there, ufology.
Back to the history of the whole thing. I think that's what happened, was that once the program was confronted and saw they were outmatched at a certain point, I think they probably had to, start playing nice, but I think they still refused to give back what they had. And so that, again, is that a good or a bad decision? Well, that's something that they're going to have to contend with, and that's going to be part of the end game as well. I think, to a certain extent.
Where would they stay if they were working on a base?
Can we get to other hands?
Let's get to other hands. Let's get to other hands. They're so rude. They're so rude even to the believers. And what's funny is other people were able to ask 4 or 5 questions. It's just weird, man. It's weird how they police these rooms.
Yeah, I'll
Do
come
that,
back to
right?
that.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
come
skip
back
to
to
other
that one.
hands just out of
Yeah.
respect for like the other people up here. Star Dude, UFO intro. Then G Just again.
What question?
All right, so I skipped that question. Get to the next clip here.
I just want to jump in really quick. Jason, this is amazing. So you're confirming the fact, and I think we already, most of us knew that.
Listen to this. So you're confirming for us. You're confirming our belief system. And by the way, we kind of already knew this. This is another host of this space. This is the host of the space who calls herself scientific and skeptical. Let's listen. Let's just take that back a few seconds. Start it over. And really listen to what she says.
I just want to jump in really quick. Jason, this is amazing. So you're confirming the fact, and I think we already, most of us knew that craft is classified, but NHIs are not classified. Why would they not?
Craft is classified, but NHI is not. So the craft are classified, but not the aliens.
Keep the NHIs classified. What makes it? I mean, I get that the craft is, weapons of mass destruction and whatnot, but
so you confirm for us that the craft and the aliens are real, but why is one classified and not the other?
I mean, NHIs would prove, that they're real, that everything's real. That would kill all the debunking, So I'm just very curious as to why one is considered classified.
But yet we don't have any proof of the NHI. We just got guys going, trust me, bro, and saying NHI. We haven't seen any of it. So to call it proof or evidence, we can't do that. They're just words as of right now.
Classified, and one is considered not declassified or unclassified.
I think they want us to study that because if it bleeds, we can kill it, but they don't want.
This is not Jason Sands answering the question. This is some other guy coming in answering the question for Jason Sands. Just so weird.
Want us to have the,
And if it bleeds, we want to kill it. That's the answer. If it bleeds, we kill it. That's why it's not classified, because it bleeds. The craft don't bleed. The aliens do. The NHI bleed, and if it bleeds, we can kill it. Unclassified. Craft, when we stab it, it doesn't bleed. Classify it. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Anyone?
Warp speed nukes.
Right.
Or
And that's
Jason,
really,
rather.
yeah, because I think ultimately the NHI presence here doesn't really care what the program people think at all.
Right. Why would
don't
they?
think what our government thinks is any more than just a graceful way to communicate with the people that they have to discuss things with. And that's why the NHI are totally unclassified. As I think that over time, every time that there had been probably any kind of a restriction that came from the humans that ended up in the sphere of the NHI's presence, I think the NHI took offense to that because just by the way I was introduced into the program and there being an area of the base there in the mountains that you could walk around without a badge, and you weren't supposed to have a badge, and that's where Mr. Hall's story comes in, and he describes it very beautifully. And that's why I agree, because when I was introduced and shown where he worked, the base commander actually said, "Yeah, this guy, the weather guy, doesn't have he can walk to wherever he wants to. He's got full access, and he doesn't even need a clearance." And it's exactly the way that Mr. Hall describes it. So
yeah. So when you want to go visit the aliens, you don't need a clearance. You don't have to walk around with a badge. You just need to be in the program, bro. You just got to be part of the program, bro. And if it bleeds, kill it. Unclassify it. Tell people about it. But don't show them evidence of it. Don't show them any blood. Bury the body. But unclassify it. If it doesn't bleed, put a classification on that thing. Let's reverse engineer it and put it into our sky. And tell people it's aliens. The fuck are you guys talking about? This is Jason Sands, the UFO whistleblower. This is your UFO whistleblower. And these are the burning questions that people want answers to. And these are the answers you are so grateful for, and that you grovel for, and that you step over each other for, and that you backstab each other for. These are the answers. You guys are more lost than I realized. Really, truly. If you're, man, it's just, it boggles my mind how people can't see this.
The reason that person's allowed to roam free is because the NHI want it that way.
Okay. So can I go there because the NHI want me to be there? I saw a spaceship once. Can Gary Nolan go in there? Anybody can go in there because the NHI said, you're cool. You're cool. How does that work? How do the people protecting the base know who's cool? Who the NHI approved? Oh, that's right. It's not classified. So Gary, the NHI, told the guys at the front desk and door, hey, Miguel is cool. You can let him in. Which Miguel? Miguel T, not Miguel L. Miguel L, he's not cool. You can't let him in here. Miguel T, on the other hand, let him in. He's cool. He can talk to us. We allow it. This is what you guys believe? This is the equivalent of the Santa Claus elves making toys. You're 40, 30, 20-year-old men and women who believe in Santa Claus. And you listen to these answers and walk away going, oh my God, that guy's going to change the world. And we got to do anything and everything to keep him safe. Safe from criticism, safe from questions, safe from ridicule, safe from unemployment. We're going to do that from him. What a bunch of weirdos you are.
In other words, they wanted those grounds where they live to be left alone like an embassy would, protected by their own sovereignty.
So now they've got an embassy, a piece of land where only the aliens can go, and approved people. Got it. And I guess Jason Sands was one of those people that got the old thumbs up to go in.
Human influences in their lives to have to deal with all of our laws and everything else on top of everything they're dealing with. I mean,
they don't want to deal with our pesky laws. They don't want to make full stops at stop signs. They want to jaywalk. And for fuck's sake, if I'm at a bar, I want to be able to take my drink outside of it and smoke a cigarette. This is America, goddammit. They don't want pesky laws.
I think for the most part, they try to be gracious about that. But when it comes right down to it, I don't think they're ever going to allow any of their citizens to be thrown in jail by us unjustly without some kind of a consequence.
So one of the alien citizens being thrown into a human jail could bring consequences. Did I hear that right?
To have to deal with all of our laws and everything else.
Pesky
on top of
laws.
everything they're dealing with. I mean, I think for the most part they try.
On top of everything else they're dealing with, these NHI and aliens are so stressed out, man. The bills, the transportation costs to get from galaxy to galaxy. Do you know how much it costs to open a wormhole these days? I mean, back in 1992, wormholes were less than $1 to travel through. Now, you'd be lucky to get one for less than $15. How am I supposed to feed my intergalactic family when wormhole travels $15 each way? Space governors. How, man. Woo! This is some stupid shit.
Try to be gracious about that, but when it comes right down to it, I don't think they're ever going to allow any of their citizens to be thrown in jail by us unjustly without some kind of a consequence. Now, whether or not.
What if they murder somebody? What if they murder your family, Jason Sands? You're not going to throw them into, you don't want them to be put into prison? Because there are pesky laws, or murder laws? Like, what's the line there, Mr. Sands? What are they allowed to do? It's like NHI apparently are the fucking Russian bad guy from Lethal Weapon 2. Diplomatic immunity. He could do whatever he wants. He has diplomatic immunity. He kills hookers. It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry, we are NHI. We have diplomatic immunity. What are you talking about, dude?
Not they're more patient about it, like I think they are. That's why they're waiting till 2030s or whatever to come back and demand everything back. Is they gave everybody an ample time in the program to return everything, and the prisoners and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of things that go into that statement where. Why is it classified and unclassified? It's because they are their own people.
They're their own people, man. They bleed, therefore they're unclassified. Okay, great. Show me the houses they live in. Show me the bills they're racking up, the parking spaces they need. Show me the schools they attend. You know, like, show me anything. Tell me where those things are. Anything, Jason. Anything. You are a whistleblower, right? Right? Right?
There's some disclosure, people.
I think we got UFO intro then.
Fucking the UFO nutball in the room stands up and slow claps. There's your disclosure, people. Right there. And everyone in that room agrees with that. The dumbest thing, a fucking plot line from Lethal Weapon 2 is the reason aliens are unclassified, but their craft are not. Okay, go on.
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you got Randy and then
the
Maya,
NHI welfare must be amazing. The food stamps. Do they get government subsidies for wormhole travel? Sorry. I'm confusing currencies and governments and infrastructures.
Jason? Right, Jason?
Yeah, Jason, I appreciate you. Love you, brother. Last time I asked you.
Love you, brother. Listen to this. Listen. It's almost as if it's really impressive that you can actually articulate your words with your tongue that far up his ass. Listen to this question.
I asked you a personal question. I asked you what was your favorite dish, and you said lobster. This time I'm going to ask you, are you a Chevy, Ford, or Dodge truck man?
Oh, geez.
Boxers or briefs, Sans? What's it gonna be, bro? That's the next question coming up. Jason Sands, I love you, brother. First time I asked you what your favorite food was, you said lobster. Then I asked you what your favorite kind of car guy you are, you said Chevy. Now, the ultimate question, man, boxers or briefs? Or none. You freeball it. I bet Jason Sands freeballs it.
Well, I'd have to say I fell in love with my Chevy Nova that I rebuilt as a young man.
To be honest, I do love questions like this. I do. I like personal questions from people who are making big claims. Anytime you can get an insight into who somebody is or what their hobbies are, anything like that, anything that humanizes them, I think is always great. So I actually don't mind this question, even though I'm making fun of it and the person. But the way he sticks this landing, I think, is where I have my issue with it. And again, the tongue so far up the ass, you can taste what he had for breakfast that morning, and it doesn't allow any room for anyone with a critical question to come in here and feel comfortable asking questions. And it just like, after the answers you've gotten so far in this space, you're satisfied with the answers. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's so weird.
I was a sheet metal guy in the Air Force. And man, that was the most beautiful project I'd ever worked on.
There you go. I had a Chevy too, so I'm right there with you, brother. Love you, Jason. I love you. Keep on trucking, you know. And anytime you need help, you just reach out to me in DMs, okay?
All right.
You just reach out to me in DMs. Okay, I'll take care of you. He says I love you to this guy 4 or 5 times.
I will.
Okay. Love you.
Love you.
I think we got Maya.
Love you. Love you, man. Love you, man. I love you so much, Jason Sands. Please be my friend. Like, listen to all this love and devotion and money and just keep pinning this stuff, okay? All of this love, all of this wanting to help. Anything you need, Mr. Sands, you contact me. Listen to how he repays you at the end of this. Just keep a pin in those things. I promise you, we'll come back to it.
And then if we have time, maybe one last one with J Jess.
Hi, I don't think I've spoken to you before, Jason. But
so this is a crazy question, and I'm not sure what the motivation behind this was, but it revealed a lot about what kind of belief system Jason Sands has and how deep his ufology knowledge goes. Because for an average scratching surface level ufologist, most don't know about what this question that's about to be asked. Nobody knows truly about the Vril Society or anything like that. And listen to this question. It's an interesting moment, and I'll obviously comment on it once we get the answer here.
I think my question is quite specific, and it was why was the scientific exploration mission High Jump implemented on the Antarctic? What were they hoping to find? And on a kind of forward slash, what are your opinions on the Vril?
Okay, so she's got questions about Nazis going to Antarctica and what they were looking for. Okay, which goes into just it opens up a can of a lot of worms. A lot of worms. And then the follow-up question is, what do you think about the Vril Society? Now, we have covered the Vril Society on this channel a little bit. We covered one of the biggest advocates for the Vril Society in Marina Seren, and uncovered really easily and quickly that she is a Nazi, a full-blown Jew-hating Nazi. She has Zig Heiled in shows before, like just absolute bat shit crazy stuff. And this Vril Society was a society that was working what Marina Seren describes as positive Nazis, ones who were trying to help during World War II, but then were manipulated by the evil Nazis that were reptilians. It gets crazy. Okay, so for you to know about this stuff, you got to really be into UFOs. So this is another big red flag. It should be anyway for anyone who thinks this guy is telling you the truth. Listen to what he says about the Vril Society and Nazis going to Antarctica.
Okay, this will be conjecture. I wasn't born in World War II, but I've read probably some of the same stuff now. What I do have is my experience and how it might connect. I believe the Project High Jump occurred after there was indicators that some of the Nazis went to South America, and that there was also some information from some of the interrogation that indicated that Antarctica was going to be used for a hiding spot for some of the stuff that they were trying to, maybe take some of their, or just hide away, maybe take some of their, maybe, this Glock, their Glock.
So the provenly fake UFO, Nazi UFO, the Glock, he's talking about they're taking it from Germany to Argentina, and then from Argentina to Antarctica. They want to hide the UFO, the D Glock, in Antarctica because that's where the Nazis escaped to. So he's in. And again, he's saying, I was born in World War II. There's only conjecture and stuff that I read, but this is stuff he believes. These are conclusions he's drawing, like he said earlier. Let's listen. Let's keep listening.
Glock or whatever they call it, and then
you know what they call it.
That they had worked on. Because if they did get the Hannibal working and they were able to use that craft to get to one place to another, they could have logistically been doing a lot of stuff back then that was completely undetectable because they don't have the same satellites and everything else that we have at that time. So they could have literally been doing some things that I think that's when Emerald Burden and those guys had to go down there to verify because they were hearing all kinds of rumors of these strange activities about this, something was being moved, and it looked like it was headed towards Antarctica, and these ships and the ship, what do they call that? The lading documents were kind of doctored up and things like this. And so there are some breadcrumb trails on all of that. And I think that perhaps, it's quite possible that happened. And that, if there was a world power at the time that was going to be
listen to this,
shaking up the balance in those years of our most recent, past century, that, maybe, some of the Vril are some of those evil-minded ones that would have favored, a tyrannical government.
So the evil Nazis, not the good Vril, not the good Nazis, the evil Nazis. Good and evil Nazis. Holy shit, dude. It's I've talked to Mia a couple times in these spaces, and she's a very interesting character. And she thinks a lot of this stuff is bullshit, but the stuff she does believe in is absolutely crazy too. And again, it's just kind of one of those things, man, where it's just like, people who believe their thing, but they don't believe other stuff. It's just like, dude, where do you draw the line on your belief system? Dandy Sands is on fire. I don't know what you're on about, Lou Reviews. Okay. Come on. You don't believe that. You don't believe that, Daddy Sands. I do like that name though, Daddy Sands. I'll call him Daddy Sands.
Government taking over the world, and maybe that was another attempt that maybe we're going to see time and time again over time. That they'll try to manipulate things to their advantage until they finally think it's time to try it all over again, and maybe we're going to end up that way. So that's what I think of the Vril. And I don't think, if they were working on weapon systems with the Nazis, I think that definitely, to me, they're not good
bueno
at all, unless there was some real good reason on their part. But
what could be the real good reason on working with weapon systems with Nazis? Maybe Marina Seren can explain it to you. Maybe you could take a picture with her at a UFO con, just like like Christopher Mellon did. Remember that? Holy Jesus. That was a moment.
Able to come to that conclusion from what they were doing, because everybody knows that the Holocaust was just wrong. I mean, genocide is just wrong, and to participate inhumane, and for the Vril to have known that and allowed it to continue, and maybe even strengthen it, that would have been a really bad position to come from.
Right, except they didn't do that, because if the Nazis had done that with aliens, we'd all be speaking fucking German and have blonde hair and blue eyes, Jason Sands. Fucking so stupid.
So that's what I got to say about it. But
No, that's all I got. That's all I got.
My conclusion.
Thanks, Jason. I think we got. Is it all right if Star Dude goes, and then we'll end it with J Just, and you can head out for dinner?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I skipped Star Dude.
Cultures that they have.
So you're saying, do they have any religious beliefs of any kind?
Okay, so this is where I picked up this kind of mid conversation here, but she's asking if the aliens have religion or art, which is an interesting question, especially if your claims are that you've worked with tall whites and grays.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got religion.
When it comes to religion and the program, they don't like it. Let me put it that way.
When it comes to the religion and the program, they don't like it. Who's they? Is it the aliens, or is it the government, or is it both?
Apparently, there's something that they don't like about anybody who is of faith.
I think it would make sense. I wouldn't want people to bring their own personal opinions or like their own
bias. Yeah,
beliefs, right? Because then they'll say, "Oh, they're demons. Oh, they're this." You just want someone to scientifically look at things.
Yeah, you don't want any. You're right. You don't want any radical ideologies to play a part. You'd want somebody to be even keeled, just like you and I. We don't want,
even keeled. Don't want to bring our belief systems into the jobs that we carry, because those belief systems might confirm beliefs that are not really there. Kind of like you? Are you not aware? Are you not aware? I guess you're just not aware of what you're doing. Okay.
If we don't agree on our
moving along.
You don't want me trying to evangelize you. If you've already told me, no, I'm not interested right now. Maybe later in life, I'll change my mind. But right now, you and me, we don't need to talk about this. I mean, it's the same thing with them. I would say that, yeah, if they have their own belief systems and faiths, they would think the same way, in that, be graceful with me and understand, I may not think like you do about God and that concept of God, that, yeah, maybe I call him something else. And on top of that, I'm a different species, and therefore maybe my savior had to be this.
Cuts out there a little bit. Sorry about that.
And maybe I'm not from a fallen race like you human beings are, and I don't need a Jesus Christ in my faith. All these things might be possibilities. So that's why, our biases can get in the way sometimes, and that's maybe why they shun the fact that, religion's not to be at the forefront of your job.
It's funny because all this guy does is give religious UFO sermons in rooms like this. He gets very religious in these rooms. Quite religious. Just go listen for yourself. They sound like UFO sermons. And this guy was in the program that doesn't like overly religious zealots. Okay, weird. Again, very strange.
If that makes sense. I mean, you can believe but just don't make it a problem. In other words.
Yeah, you don't want zealots.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to become a terrorist just to make you, you got to believe in God the way I do. Otherwise, the rest of the human race that doesn't believe like I do, gosh, I have to kill them all. Yeah, to me, that sounds totally insane.
Can I sneak in one more question?
Yeah.
one more question, and I don't know which one to pick, but like considering the fact that we now see, if it's true, we have other um, races from different planets coming to Earth, and we know that they exist.
Yeah.
Okay, so our war machine knows this. Our president knows this. Other countries know this, and their leaders know this, and their war machines know this.
Yep.
Don't we look at our world differently instead of fighting amongst us? Wouldn't it be beneficial for us to stop war?
And this is a great question. Because if what he's saying is true, yeah, why hasn't this happened yet? If all of the governments in the world know that these things are here, they're flying with impunity, they have programs and installations with the United States, they're going back and forth to Mars with super soldier children, there's alien greys, there's reptilians, there's tall whites, all the governments of the world know, even though nobody has said that, even though on this world map, the United States is the fucking place that sees all of these things, from a global perspective, and a sample size from 1906 to 2014, over 100 years, sample size. Why wouldn't these governments come together and play nice and cooperate with each other, knowing that there is a greater threat outside, and not even outside, it's already here. So why would it be advantageous for humans to fight each other? Doesn't make any sense. It's a good question.
And band together, especially amongst the even keel countries, even though, like, you'd say Putin is one way, he's not an idiot, right? Like, wouldn't it make sense to try to make peace amongst
It would,
everyone?
but here's the problem to that, in my eyes. You've got the elitist core that want everything for themselves.
Listen to this excuse. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Okay. And a lot of them are in government in a lot of places. And ultimately, wouldn't you, if you're an elitist and knew you could draw this out, instead of coming to a consensus and creating world peace, that you could claim turf, you could extort money, and you could gather power unto yourself by extending.
What good would that do you against an alien threat? What military strategy is that, Mr. Sands? Let's be greedy, make our citizens as poor as possible, not communicate with other countries because the aliens are here and coming. Let's not cooperate. Let's make money because we're the elite. It's such a stupid scapegoat. It is like the guy at the fucking party who's done too much acid, who keeps telling you, it's the government, man. It's the elite, man. They control everything. Every time you fucking come up with rational reasons, they will hit you with, well, it's a conspiracy, man. They. Never, ever grounded in reality.
The amount of time before revealing the big fact that we're not alone. That's kind of what I think is going on with
right.
All world
so stupid.
It's a big game of take what you can before.
Okay, what is Great Britain taking? Well, what is Australia taking? What is Canada taking? What is any other free first world country taking other than maybe the United States? I don't know if we more blur borders and then rebuild.
Or we're forced to admit to this. Does that make sense?
Stupid. No, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
She wants to say no. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But she's too scared to say, no, it doesn't make sense. And before she could really sort of try and track back and maybe get more clarity on the question because she's not satisfied with her answer, Mr. UFO handler comes in and is like, yeah, man, that makes total sense. Total sense. Yep, the elite are just being greedy. That's why. So fucking stupid.
The Bible talks about that part, but I mean, I'm just applying it to there.
The
I'm not
Bible
saying it
talks
is
about that
to
part.
Anybody that's
Don't want to be
that,
too religious,
I'm
though.
just saying the Bible does talk about it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and honestly, that's human nature too. I mean, honestly, how long have we been kind of seeing tyrants literally doing exactly what I just said? And none of them even believe in God or have a faith of their own to speak of a lot of times.
Do you think they work from fear,
And that would be a good thing, right? They would be welcome to the program, right?
Jason?
Oh, yeah, that's why I was saying you got to be careful when you're going through a lull in life. You know, fears will come, stress will come. But like I said, you have to really know who you are and be confident that what you speak is power. What comes from your heart, your mouth speaks as well.
Yeah. Whatever you believe, whatever you say is power. And if you got a modicum of military experience, you can take that all the way to the UFO bank to a point where people will feel sorry for you and give you money.
And if you're not thinking positively about yourself and the world around you, well, guess what you're going to propagate? You're going to propagate fear, stress that you're under.
Okay.
But if you propagate the fact that things are going to be okay, I'm on steady ground, there's always tomorrow, and you keep all that going for you, you're going to change the attitude of a lot of people around you. And that's something we all feel. I mean, honestly, there are people that give you energy and there's people that can suck it right out of you. And, you know, that's the difference here is that, you know, I'm seeing a lot of people that are real soul suckers out there right now. And that's awful. And actually, they're so horrible at this that they're actually willing to get violent about their situation because they're so unhappy about things.
What is he talking
it's just
about?
like a kicking, screaming kid in a supermarket to me. But that's something everybody has to come to realization. Just, you know, do your part. Get out there, be yourself, be confident. Know that we're...
Get out there, be yourself, be confident. What the fuck is he? Who is he talking to? Is this a fucking Little League game? What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, we've got a lot of NHI that are on our side.
We've got a lot of NHI that are on our side, so don't worry about it, guys. We got a lot of good aliens out there that like us.
And they outnumber the ones that don't.
Oh my God. If you believe this and are above the age of 11, it's not good. It's not good.
And I think there's going to be a reckoning. Like I said, I feel something's in the wind. And I think
another doom prophecy. There's a reckoning coming. Jesus is coming to cleanse this earth, everyone.
I'm feeling that wind is that, yeah. I think some of the NHI that have been wishing us ill are realizing that, holy crap, we're losing the war here.
What war? What war? Are you suggesting there's an intergalactic war between non-human intelligence? I'm going to say you're a liar. And if you want to take me to court and prove that, please do. Please do, man.
And they're about ready to see a giant stand up and really take an assertive action against them. And I think that's going to come from us if we can do it. I think that's going to be a huge, powerful thing because this is our planet, and I think that everything in it is connected to us. Just
Hey,
like
Jason.
And here comes Mr. Corn People. This is where the congregation just gets really funny because now, and this is what always happens in these spaces, now the crazy has entered the room. And now the lesser crazy can't combat the fucking crazy, because if they do, then they look aggressive and mean and not accepting. So now they've painted themselves in a corner where they have to let this guy cook. And listen to what he says. This is great.
I want to ask you a question. Do you like to do field research?
What?
Oh yeah, I love doing that. I've already talked to a lot of friends that want to do that. I like doing garage.
I'm getting a,
Just shut up. I want to tell you about what I'm doing.
I'm getting a team ready for, I found an ancient civilization in Mount Whitney area.
He found an ancient civilization in Mount Whitney area. And he's putting together a team. Some would want to call it the A team, but I'm going to call it the C team because we got some corn people with us.
In Southern California. And we're going to do a assessment, of drones first. And I got to
They're going to do an assessment of drones first. Okay, go on.
Look over. I could see invisible dimensions, and I've seen portals, and a bird disappear in Sedona through a portal where a dude was sitting by. It was like in a chair. He was sitting by this portal, and the bird just disappeared. He was big too, like 3 foot, 2 foot wingspan. And I saw a Stargate come down on
a
Fort
Stargate
Bragg
and a portal. You saw a Stargate come down on Fort Bragg? Okay, go on.
In California, I was on the beach and it was foggy, and it's kind of lucky, man. You go do this stuff and you just happen to see a Stargate coming down on Earth. It was like wicked. But if you want to get in touch with me, we're getting it.
Just like you, Jason. Just like how you went to Mars and back as a super soldier kid. We're alike, man. I see invisible dimensions and portals and Stargates coming down on whole fucking military bases. These are your people. These are you're placating to. These are the people you're encouraging. These are the people that you're sending deeper down the hole. And this is the crazy of the crazy. The other folks in this room they just believe. They just believe. It's just a Santa Claus belief for them. But it's way more real than Santa Claus. But not this real. Not like seeing portals and Stargates over military bases. That's too weird. That sounds a little bit like bullshit. But aliens stealing my baby out of my womb, that actually happened. You see? They're not that far apart and crazy. They sound almost the same. So when you think you sound less crazy than this guy, you don't. You don't. And the stories that were given in this 23-minute clips that I pulled, and there's way more bullshit that he said than this. You sound like this guy here at the end.
We're going to do a skit, but I need a team of researchers.
They're going to do a skit. I don't know what are they doing a comedy skit? Are they researching? And you mean do you mean a documentary? Is that what you mean?
Professionals. But I tell you what, you're a smart guy. You're very intelligent. You're even keeled. You're not religious, and all, you're not controlled by religion. And I like that. And you got to understand, I am the one that don't believe in nothing. Okay. But
he don't believe in nothing, but
I know
he knows,
Yep. And believing in things is going to be against the law, pretty much,
Believing in things would be against the law, pretty much, Now the UFO handler is like, okay, this is too crazy. This is too crazy. We're gonna have to put a little pin on this one, crazy boy. Let's land this plane.
Simulation.
Yeah.
Simulation. So Jason has to head out to dinner, so
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you
So,
to take
stop
your
being so
plane up
fucking
and bring
crazy.
the rate down. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Those are all things that.
And he totally agrees with everything the crazy guy just said. So the wormholes, the fucking stargates above Fort Bragg, the ancient civilization at Mount Whitney. Yeah. Jason's like, yeah, man, I'm right there with you, buddy.
That people are having to contend with right now. The way I run my life is
Listen to
got
this.
too much to worry about for my own self, to worry about all you guys.
I got too much to worry about myself to worry about all of you guys. All of you fucking losers and lunatics that give me money. I don't have time for you. I got my own shit to handle. So let me give you a piece of advice. Go on.
I can wish all of you very well and
Uh-huh.
all the blessings in the world.
Yeah.
I pray for all of you.
Okay.
And this world, the situation we're in.
Thoughts and prayers. Thanks. We gave you a whole bunch of money and we propagate your bullshit, but thanks for your thoughts and prayers. Appreciate it. Go on. You can't actually give us any real data or information or facts. That's all we're looking for in exchange for the money and the attention. But you can't even give us that. And you got too much to worry about us. Fuck you, right? Fuck us. Who cares?
My family, all that every day. Okay. And you guys can do it in your own way. Send out cards to folks and let them know that you appreciate them and that, whatever it is, your kids too.
Send out cards to folks and let them know you appreciate them and your kids too. Yeah, you guys go do that to your families. I ain't doing it to you. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Send prayers to y'all. But yeah, I'm not doing anything past that for you guys. But go send some letters to your kids and parents.
That's really up to you guys to be that person in life. And honestly, you've heard me say this a number of times, that you got to get to know yourself. And when you do that, you know your path in life. And I think that's a beautiful moment when people come to that realization, is when they finally figured out, this is what I'm supposed to be.
So you're supposed to be in Twitter Spaces collecting money for mentally deranged and disturbed people. That's where you're supposed to be. Congratulations. You've reached the fucking bottom. All of you.
This kind of person. And then everything else falls in place. So that's kind of my ending statement for the whole thing.
And so that's everything I got. That's everything we got on Mr. Jason Sands. There's more. I don't want to share the link at all. I don't want anybody to go listen to that fucking idiot. You can find it. You can find it. So many discussions very similar to that, and they drive me crazy. They drive me nuts. I don't know why they drive me crazy. I don't know why I care so much. I really don't. Because at this point, there's no helping anybody who believes this. There's no helping you. And I honestly, I really don't care about you. Yeah, like at this point, dude, go waste your money, go waste your time, go waste relationships, go fucking give up work opportunities, go give up real life interactions to sit in spaces for 20 fucking hours a day listening to people that are telling you tales that are the equivalent to Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, or any other magical creature that you can think of for that matter. It's a sad place, this community. And honestly, I'm interacting with it less and less every day. I'm really having some days I'm having a hard time, like, just even wanting to do this show. It's tough, man, because there's with the rare occasions when you get to talk to a Mick West or John Greenwald or Jeremy McGowan or Paranormal Chris. This conversation sucks. It sucks. Like, I want to engage and have fun, interesting, deep, philosophical, demanding conversations where ideas and limits can be pushed. But the second your ideas or your philosophies become facts, I'm out. I'm done. And that's what all these stupid spaces are. They're just like fucking myth machines. That's it. And you guys line up for it and eat it up, and like you're grown adults. It's the scariest part. Like, even at my most ardent belief, I would have never believed Jason Sands. Anything that guy has said. Everything, nothing has checked out. Nothing except for his career in the military. Outside of that, I don't think much checks out at all. That's a show, you guys. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing a show on Monday. I'm going to be coming back. I've got an audition that I got to put on tape this weekend. My birthday is this weekend. There's just a lot of stuff happening. So I'm not sure if Monday is going to be... I'm going to probably say no show Monday. But we'll be back Friday. Maybe we could get a cool guest, because I like having conversations with knowledgeable people in this discussion. Everyone else is just a fucking nutball. And the excuses and the rugs that we roll out for these nutballs and the patience that we give them, and the time and the understanding, it's not appreciated. It's not welcomed, and it's not helping. Like, it's not helping. As a matter of fact, it only sends them into their belief system even deeper in some cases. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to provide solutions to something I really shouldn't give a shit about. And I don't have any solutions. I don't have any. I just wish this conversation in this community didn't suck as bad as it does. Dude, it's so bad. Anyway, have a great weekend. Hope you guys have a killer weekend. I really do. Please don't forget, if you haven't, smack that like button right now. Middle of the video, ends of the video. It apparently triggers the algorithm. So if you haven't smacked that like button, please smack it now. That'd be a huge help. Share the show. Copy the link. Tell people about the show if you enjoyed the show today. If you enjoyed that interview with John Greenwald, please feel free to clip my shows, guys, if you want to. Share them. Whatever you guys want to do. I'm all good with it. Ring that bell. That way you're notified every time we go live. You guys, if you want to support with the almighty dollar, which some of you have through super chats, thank you so damn much to Kaplizier for all the super chats today. We have a Patreon link in the description below. You can financially help produce the show. So with that said, you guys, I appreciate and love all of you that are here, and get how bad this has been since 2017, and how worse it gets almost every year. It just gets worse and also funnier. But yeah, thank you for embarking on this journey of discovery together. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and thank you for helping us raise the bar and subscribing to Lou Reviews. Until next week, you guys, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Love y'all. Peace.